Every day you have an opportunity to be a new person. Like you can just wake up tomorrow and decide, I'm going to be totally different. I'm going to act different. I'm going to talk different. I'm going to behave different. Don't get so caught up in the sunk cost fallacy of being you that you never change and you never evolve. Don't let the amount of time that you've spent being who you are stop you from being who you could be.
Become more of a human being. Don't be afraid of the reflection in the mirror, because that's all you can be afraid of. Once you overcome the reflection in the mirror, you've done it.
If the lion is the king of the jungle, how can he be the king of the jungle? If he's not the biggest, the elephant is probably one of the biggest. He can't be the fastest because that's a cheetah. He can't be the smartest, so he's not the biggest, the fastest, or the smartest. So how does the lion become the king of the jungle? His mentality. That's the only difference of a lion and an elephant. When a lion walks up and sees an elephant, he thinks lunch. An elephant thinks run. And it's all mentality. Because when a male lion walks up, he may be outnumbered by a pack of hyenas, but I'm king of my jungle because of my mentality.
There are only two animals on the planet that the Creator identified himself with. The first one is the eagle. The eagle. And the second animal is the lion. And when I identified those two animals as his favorite to identify himself with, I recognized I better study these two animals, because if he is the leader of the universe and I want to be a leader on earth, I better find out the nature of these animals and also the attitude of these animals. And I discovered that both of them are the kings of their domain. The eagle is the king of the bird kingdom, and the lion is the king of the animal kingdom. But let's talk a little bit about the lion. The lion has what I call the spirit of leadership. And this word spirit here is referring to attitude. Everybody say attitude. A leader has an attitude that makes him or her different from followers. Now, the lion is the king of the jungle, but the lion to me is a great source of encouragement to all of us. I want you to write this down. Remember this as long as you live. Number one, the lion is not the tallest animal in the jungle. Number two, the lion is not the largest animal in the jungle. Number three, the lion is not the heaviest animal in the jungle. Number four, the lion is not the smartest animal or the most intelligent animal in the jungle. And yet, when he shows up, they all run away. Well, here's one of my favorite quotes that I put in my books, and I believe it really brings home the point. An army of sheep led by a lion will always defeat an army of lions led by a sheep. And the answers to that dilemma is this: because leadership can transform cowards into violent warriors. The right kind of leadership can transform a timid into bold people who are fearless. Leadership is that powerful. Leadership can walk into a camp of depressed people, and in 20 minutes they have turned on into unbelievable, powerful armies. Because leadership determines everything. The lion is the king of the jungle because of one word: attitude. Everybody say attitude. Write it down. Attitude. The lion has a different attitude that makes every animal afraid of him. Now, we don't want to lead by fear, but it does take respect for you to become a leader. When I use the word fear in the jungle, we're talking about respect. The elephant respects the lion. The hyenas respect the lion. The giraffes, they respect the lion. What makes these massive animals respect such a small cat? The attitude is the difference. For example, a lion will see an elephant And the thing that comes to his mind, one word, lunch. I could eat this thing. And he acts the way he thinks. Now here's another amazing mystery. The elephant is larger, bigger, stronger, more powerful, heavier, and more intelligent. And yet when the elephant sees the lion, one word comes to mind: eater. Attitude is a product of belief. You cannot have an attitude beyond your belief. So your attitude comes from your belief system.
So let's break this down a little bit, because I think I'm right. What I think is everyone's insane on some level. So first of all, think about this. The first section there, cannot distinguish fantasy from reality. Cannot distinguish fantasy from reality. Okay, so you get the stereotypical person on the street that's yelling at a telephone pole or whatever, right? They're delusional. They don't think other people can see what they're doing. They think they're more capable than they are. You know, that's kind of the thing that clued me in off this whole idea, was this particular military general who was doing things, who didn't understand the reality of the situation that he was in. Just didn't understand it. So cannot distinguish fantasy from reality. That's part one. Part two, cannot conduct affairs due to psychosis. What does that mean? That means you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Is there anyone listening to this echo Charles? Is there any day that you don't exactly do what you're supposed to be doing? Does that ever happen? You don't conduct your affairs the way you're supposed to? Does that ever happen to you, Daryl? Has there ever been a day where you didn't quite conduct the affairs you were supposed to do? Well,
yes, no comment.
Okay. Subject to uncontrollable impulsive behavior.
The comfort zone is dangerous. When you're comfortable, you are at most danger. The comfort zone is somewhere you should never feel comfortable. You should be happy and dissatisfied. Anybody ever tell you, hey, look, you know what? Just be satisfied with what you got. Don't believe them. Get them away from you. You should never be satisfied with what you got. Because the attempt to get more makes you into something better. Don't let anybody tell you, hey man, you should just be happy with, no!
Don't underestimate yourself. You do what you can do, and God will do what you can't do. Take the initiative, learn something new, throw your net on the other side, be ambitious, reach, ask for help, not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong.
Make good choices, great things happen. You see, every choice that I can make, listen, I can't control what you think about me. I can't control your opinion of me. I can't control what you say about me, but I control how I react, respond, and what I do with my life. I'm in control of my life. I don't let external factors control me. I'm in control of my life. Because hard work and tenacity and refusing to quit and chasing your dream, you'll get there, I promise you. Maybe you don't hit the stars, but you'll land on the moon. You just don't give up and you go after it, and you stop caring about the opinions of people around you. Stop blaming everybody for your hurts. Take ownership of your life. Take off your mask. Don't feed the bear. Make good choices. Be a best friend. Encourage somebody. Be a voice of hope and inspiration. This is your moment.
Always remember this. Your past never has to be bigger than your future. Maybe we've made some mistakes. Maybe we did some things that we're not proud of, but the great thing is that people can change.
Nobody knows but you. You can't get advice on what you should do with your life, right? Nobody knows what you are. Like even sometimes you don't really even know what you are. You got to take your shot. As much as you want people to agree and you want the people around you to be supporting your dreams and all, it's not going to be like that all the time. You got to do it alone, and people will help you. And when you get the ball rolling, people will jump on. But if you don't believe, nobody else is going to believe.
But one of the things that really motivates me
or one of my most powerful motivational frames is thinking about the person that I want to become as the destination, and thinking like, I want to be bulletproof. I want to be bulletproof in these ways. I want to be bulletproof in my marriage. I want to be bulletproof in my business, etc. And I think about that man, whoever I want him to be. Like we said, hell is when you look at who you could have been and realize that you're not that person. And then I think, if I were to make that man, what would I put that man through to make him who he is? Like, it wouldn't be easy times. It wouldn't be quick wins. It wouldn't even be easy wins. It would be the toil and the struggle of achieving and reaching for things that are right out of grasp, that are right above my threshold, and continuing to do that, to like lift the weight, to build the muscle, to break it down and do it over and over again, because like that's what creates the character traits that are the man that I want to be. And so when I'm going through those like really harder times, I like to think of like looking in my mental mirror of like, I'm making you. I'm not there yet, but I'm making you.
No more depression, no more anxiety. Buy blame game, buy anger. Somebody drop in the comments something you want to say goodbye to today. Bye to complaining, bye to arrogance, bye to pride, bye to comparisons, bye to negotiating myself out of my purpose and my destiny. Goodbye to divorcing my future and telling myself I don't have what it takes, I can't do it, I'll start Monday. Everything that has disempowered you has to leave. We need accountability. We need constructive analysis. We need coaching and mentorship. We need friends that are not going to be afraid to tell us when we've gotten off kilter. We need to make the investments required to be planted in community to optimize our performance in everyday life. That we show up personally so we can show up professionally. That everything I do behind the scenes, in the dark room, in the places where nobody can see me, I've got character, I'm principled, I've got integrity. And as a result, I dominate in public.
Remind yourself that it's not about being perfect. It is about constantly putting one foot in front of the other, taking it moment by moment, step by step, not getting too ahead of yourself, right? Still keeping the vision and the goal and the dream at the forefront of your mind, knowing where you're trying to go, but understanding that it's a journey. And in this journey, you're going to make mistakes. In this journey, you're going to fall down. But every time you fall down, every time you make a mistake, every time you mess up, there's a lesson in it for you. There's an opportunity for growth. There's an opportunity to get back up and take the next right step, right? And that's why this journey is so beautiful, because you learn so much about yourself. It's about being open and constantly trying to progress each and every day.
Do I just sit there and settle? No, I don't. I say enough's enough, man, and I'm gonna make a change, and I'm gonna keep going until I get it. You chase something that you believe you deserve until you get it. And it doesn't matter what happens to you. It doesn't matter how many times you get fired. It doesn't matter how many people don't believe in you. Just go until you get it. That's the point. Are you tired yet? Some of you need to get tired. You need to be tired of what's going on in your life. Get tired of your habits. Get tired of the actions that you're putting in every day. You gotta change, man, or nothing changes.
You just decide, I'm going to keep my word. If I say something, I'm going to do it regardless. Being more considerate, more trusting, more disciplined. You owe it to yourself to give it your best effort. If you get in the habit of being mediocre or doing just enough to get by, you're not hurting anybody but you. You're cheating you.
Decide to be better. Decide to get better. Decide to get after it.
See, look, one thing I want you to promise me is that no matter how long it takes, keep going. No matter how much it hurts, keep going. So you was placed on this earth for a reason. You weren't meant to be average. You were meant to excel. You gotta understand that this grind is meant to make you who you're supposed to be, a dog. A little grind ain't never hurt nobody. Stop being soft. Let's embrace it. If you go through that fire, you're gonna come out real cold. That's what we want.
So I wanted to project myself forward to age 80 and say, okay, now I'm looking back on my life. I want to have minimized the number of regrets I have. And you know, I knew that when I was 80, I was not going to regret having tried this. I was not going to regret having wanted, trying to participate in this thing called the internet that I thought was going to be a really big deal. I knew that if I failed, I wouldn't regret that. But I knew the one thing I might regret is not ever having tried. And I knew that that would haunt me every day. When I thought about it that way, it was an incredibly easy decision.
See, the question isn't, are you consistent, right? Because consistency is a system of stability and regularity and uniformity. And you can be consistently lazy. And you can consistently quit on the meal plan. And you can be consistently angry. And you can be consistently and habitually and religiously jealous and envious and going into relationships with an agenda that serves you and not the person. Seeing the relationship as a place to receive instead of give. You can consistently show up in this world the wrong person every single day with your costume and your mask on. Underneath all of the layers of the facade lies the real you. We all know that we can execute in the dimension of consistency. The question is, can you do what is required to fulfill your purpose? Can you do what it takes? Can you implement? Can you execute? Can you be tactical? Are you disciplined? Are you principled? Do you possess courage to walk in purpose and to fulfill your destiny? Have you trained your brain to do not what you feel like doing, but what is required of you in order to achieve an outcome?
Motherfucker, is you versus you.
And it makes me so mad. Every day I walk this earth and I see average all over the place. And they want to ask me, how did you do it? I can't tell you how, because you're not gonna do it. You're not gonna do it. You're gonna continue being out, because every day you wake up, like he says, like get the coffee, make the pancakes, kiss the girl, kiss the kids. You wake up, right to work. Immediately your mind is in action. No one wants to do that. No one. And I don't blame them.
What happens when I decide for myself that I'm gonna do something different? I'm gonna have setbacks, I know. But if I'm feeling bad, that doesn't mean I'm doing bad. That doesn't mean I am bad. That doesn't mean that I can't still take some action. Because yeah, nothing changes if nothing changes, man.
You know, it's always a little bit frustrating to me when people have a negative relationship with failure. Failure is a massive part of being able to be successful. You have to get comfortable with failure. You have to actually seek failure. Failure is where all of the lessons are. Successful people fail a lot. They fail a whole lot more than they succeed, but they extract the lessons from the failure and they use that the energy and they use the wisdom to come around to the next phase of success.
Truly understand that these are your greatest years. The years that will either make you successful or entrap you into mediocrity for the rest of your life. So please, make sure you make the most out of them, because your time is limited.
You have to be okay with being misunderstood. You have to be okay with being rejected. You have to be okay with not thinking like the 99%. If you want to lead, you have to lead from a place of confidence. And the worst thing you want to be is be a follower that follows followers.
Problem is, right now, there's a lot of softness in the generation of entitlement of what I think I should be able to do. I should be able to enjoy my college years. I should be able to have a social life. I should be able to insert whatever you want, and that's fine. It'll just come at the cost of something else. And I'm not the one who says like, this is right or wrong. I just say it is that way. There's only so many minutes, and there's a trade that you're going to be willing to make. And the people who will win are the ones who are willing to trade the most for the thing they want. And that oftentimes means you won't be able to go out as much. You won't be able to attend the birthday parties. You won't be able to, that stuff will suffer.
You get older, you think about things. My estimate historically, 80% of the time it ends up in the can like Johnny Shack. No risk, no reward.
Did I take enough risk? Did I put myself out there enough?
You definitely didn't.
What's that?
You definitely did not. And here's how I know it. At least, again, one man's point of view. I'm not sure anybody is taking enough risk from 20 to 30.
Yeah.
It is the most interesting thing that I've been thinking about, which is it is never more practical to be disproportionately risky than from 22 to 30, yet everybody goes the other way because now they're the real world and it's time to prove something to their parents, to themselves, to everybody else, and everybody goes conservative.
I'm here to tell you right now, you're going to make it. I know it doesn't feel like it. I know you look around and see nothing but despair and defeat. You look at the scoreboard and see that you're down by 25 in the last quarter. But I'm telling you right now, you're going to make it, not because of what's on you, but because of what's in you. What's in you is somebody who doesn't give up. What's in you is somebody who knows what defeat tastes like, who knows what it's like to go through the trials and the tribulations, somebody who knows that they want to leave a legacy for the people to come after them, somebody who doesn't live their life inspired by ego or fame or accolades, but somebody who wants to make a genuine impact, who believes that leaving all people, places, and things better than they found it is a life worth living. That's why you're going to make it. So don't give in. Don't you quit on me. See this race all the way through the end.
If you want to be successful, you have to change this. This has to change. What makes it hard is your lack of belief that it can happen for you. See, but you got to change though. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. So if you're at a place in your life and you ain't happy with it, you have to change some things.
If you believe it, if you really believe that you could be something, if you have that little voice in your head saying, hey, you got talent, you could do this, then follow that voice.
What do you do when your battle chooses you?
Life is not always easy. In fact, some of you today, you're here and you're going through the toughest season of your life. There will be seasons where we will suffer. There will be seasons of real pain. And the question is, how will you respond in those moments?
What's your why? You need a why. Why do you need a why? Because some days you're going to say, I don't want to get up. But that why is going to say, push yourself. Get up. Your mama needs you. Your daddy needs you. Your children need you. Get up. Your why is going to push you when you can't push yourself. When you want to quit and give up, your why is going to give you that edge you need, that advantage you need, that lift that you need to get to the next level. Your why.
Can't believe in yourself without believing in possibility. And you can't believe in possibility without believing in yourself. The belief that they could heal has to be installed. I just started disbelieving again. I started doubting, and I had to get back and change my state and start believing again. And I think if you keep doing that, you believe, you behave, you become.
And that's when I realized that there's two ways to see the world. Some people see the thing that they want, and some people see the thing that prevents them from getting the thing that they want.
This next 5-year window is when you don't go practical and safe. This is not the time to get the job mom wanted you to. This is the time to realize that you have a 5-year window, and it's 3 for some, it's 8 for others, but this is a 5-year window for you to attack the life that you want to win.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period.
Imagine that you're in a movie, and imagine the movie begins now, and you're the hero of the movie. What would that guy do? What would that guy do right now? Because you are.
You are able to get up every morning, have no passion, no drive, no motivation, no shit, and still get up with that kind of fire. you will be successful in life. I guarantee you that.
You better go inside. You still looking outside for the stuff that's already inside. You still looking for someone to save you when you already your superhero. You looking for some information from somebody when you already got what you need in your head. It's just time for you to get up and be the best version of you.
As you're going through your go-through and you ready to quit, you ready to give in because it don't look like you think it should look. You've been doing it for 5 years and it don't look like you think. You put all your money in it. You put all your time in it. People are looking at you crazy. 5 years you've invested. Oh, you have absolutely nothing to do with what happened to you. It's not your fault. You got knocked on the ground. You had absolutely nothing to do with that. And I'm not blaming you for that. But if I come back a week later, you still on the ground, that's your fault. If I come back a year later, you still on the ground, that's your fault. If you get knocked down, there's nothing you can do about it. But getting back up has every single thing to do with you. And you will promise me that from this day forward, you will not be defeated.
This is why I'm a big believer in this, is that when you are starting out, I think you got to find the thing that's the pain. And like, pain motivates significantly faster and stronger than pleasure does. Like, people are like, no, passion's the right way. It's like, point a gun at a family member, all of a sudden, 10 out of 10 motivation. Pain. And so like, I think people should use their pain more.
It wouldn't kill you to try. You know, spending a long time getting a life you would actually want is about 1,000,000 times better than getting a quick turnaround time on a life that you'll forever be disappointed with. You know, playing it safe seems just fine until you get to the last moments of your life and realize all the potential that you threw away and can never get back. And I will never know from experience what that feels like, but the thought of that realization is haunting.
You would never know what's inside. What's inside of you or what can be pulled out of you until you're tested. The one thing about being tested is that it brings out the best of you. You should embrace any time that people are challenging you, testing you, coming up against you. Because what it does is it forces you to grab something on the inside and pour it out in front of them. There's more inside of you than you've ever imagined. So welcome the test, because it brings out the best.
Feels like I get sucked into this negative state of mind so fast, it doesn't even feel like I have a choice. It feels like life is throwing me around and I have no say in where it goes. I understand. This is for no other reason than that evil fears you. It sees your power. It sees what will happen if you realize your full potential. And therefore, it will do anything and everything to make you blind to it. It will find your weak points, and it will attack them relentlessly until you give in.
Do we even need to ask that question, right? What about a donut? What about a piece of pizza? What about the anger? What about the smashing of the kitchen counter? Uncontrollable, impulsive behavior. You can't stop yourself from doing that thing at that moment. And here's the other part of this, and it's not part of the definition, but I looked it up and it is part of insanity, is that insane people don't know that they're insane. They don't know that they're insane. They're not aware of it. And this is another thing, reading about this particular military leader who didn't realize what was happening. He didn't see how obviously mistaken he was with the moves that he was making. Like, anybody on the outside would look and say, oh yeah, this guy's clearly making mistake after mistake after mistake. And he didn't even realize it. And I think what happens is, what that reminded me of is that if you allow your head to be an echo chamber for your own ideas and your own thoughts, and you only let those thoughts rattle around in there, it's not going to go well after a while. It ends up in a feedback loop. Was it a positive feedback loop? It's a positive feedback loop. It's feedback on an amplifier. What does that mean? It means we need to be able to detach. You know, if you want to distinguish fantasy from reality as a human, you got to detach from the situation you're in. If you want to conduct affairs regardless of how you're feeling, you got to detach from that. If you want to overcome your impulsive behaviors, you've got to detach. You got to be able to take a step back and detach. And by the way, if you don't do that, you don't realize your own psychosis. And this is similar from a leadership perspective. If you're in an echo chamber from a leadership perspective, if I'm the leader and I'm coming up with ideas and Echo's a yes man and Daryl's a yes man and they're saying, yeah, boss, great idea. That sounds great. Let's go ahead and do that. And no one questions me. No one pushes back. We're caught in an echo chamber of ideas and we're going to fail. Or chances are we're going to fail. So we need to push back against ourselves. We need to question ourselves. We need to remember that the reality that we see, the reality that we actually see with our own two eyes, looks different from other people's eyes. And you need to see if you can see what they're seeing.